There we go. That's great.
Hi, welcome everyone to NBS Hoop League, Keeping It Real with Roz Turner. We have our producer here today, Dennis Thompson. We're going to be discussing the Keeping It Real power rankings, as well as some playoff scenarios. We're 4 games away from the end of the season, so I think it's really important that everyone sees what they have to do and what key games they need to win to stay in the playoff running. With that being said, we'll get right into the power rankings for Keeping It Real. The official power rankings were posted on Tuesday and were announced on the At the Buzzer show on Monday night. Unfortunately, At the Buzzer was unable to air this past Wednesday, so we'd like to apologize for that, but it will be back on with Dennis Thompson right here on Monday night. So getting into the Keeping It Real power rankings, my top 3 were the same as the official. Fast Forward, 8-0 record, best team in the league. Shout out to Fast Forward. Them Boys at number 2, 7-1 record, and Dynasty at number 3, 7-1 record. So I think that's non-negotiable. However, the official rankings ranked Gotham City at number 4. I think Gotham City is a great team, but however, I ranked Rock Boys at number 4. Rock Boys has a 6-2 record. They clearly have a better record. So I ranked Rock Boys at number 2. And also Bears have a 6-2 record as well. But Bears did lose this past week. So just Dennis, if you wanted to speak on really quickly why you and your media team decided to rank Gotham City at number 4 above Rock Boys and Bears, who have a better record.
Well, basically, Roz Turner, we ranked Gotham City higher than the Bears and Rock Boys just based on the strength of the manner in which Gotham City won on Sunday. I believe that, there was really, NWO really never honestly had a chance in that game. I really felt like Gotham City kind of played around with them the entire game, but they could have took it to NWO. I believe at points in that game that they were kind of tentative, but they really had the potential to take it to them. And at the end of the game, they really, came out at the end. So that's why I gave them a slight edge above, Rock Boys. Rock Boys did lose, to Dynasty, which is the number 3 overall ranked team. But, I look at the manner in which Gotham City won.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and move forward, but I do want to say that on your power rankings, you have Gotham City at 4, and you have NWO, I don't know, somewhere 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they wouldn't even made the Keeping It Real power rankings. For Rock Boys to lose by 3, was it, to Dynasty? And they're under Dynasty. I just think that's real accurate. Gotham City beating the 14th ranked team, to me, is not good enough to be put above someone else with a better record. So, Rock Boys, shout out. You made number 4 in the Keeping It Real power rankings.
Just keeping it real.
Just keeping it real. And I have Bears at number 5. Even though they lost, they still have a better record than Gotham City. They're 6-2. And I look at it like this. Bears was on a very long winning streak before they started losing games. So when everybody else was winning, losing, Bears was winning consistently. So, of course, if they're going to lose some games, it's going to be now because they won the first half of the season. So I don't think that's just because you lost now and you didn't lose previously that you should be pushed down. Numbers don't lie. Shout out to Bears. You made number 5 in the Keeping It Real power rankings. Number 6 on my list is Gotham City. Gotham City is a great team. They definitely have playoff potential. They more than likely will make it in, but we're going to talk about that in just a moment. So I don't want anybody to get too comfortable based on the conference rankings because that's what really matters. And then I have No Limit next. And next I have Greatness. Which I think is about the same spot where they are on the official. Out of all the 4 and 4 teams, I do agree with the official rankings that Greatness is above the Mob. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Since they made some key changes in their roster, they've been doing pretty well. Even though they only won by 1, nevertheless, they did win. So shout out to Greatness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They made number 8 in the Keeping It Real Power Rankings. The Mob, number 9. Knowles, number 10. Phenom, number 11. And NWO, number 12. So unfortunately, Dennis Legends didn't make the Keeping It Real Power Rankings. But nevertheless, Legends is a great team. And we're going to get into the playoff scenarios to show you exactly, teams, what all you have to do. While we're pulling this up, if you want to shout your team out, who do we have live with us on tonight?
We see you, Coach Face.
Shout out to Greatness. So currently, Dennis, we went over some scenarios before the show.
Right.
Let's start off with the Eastern Conference scenarios. What do you guys, who's definitely has a spot in the playoffs, Dennis? And we want to talk about who is mathematically eliminated at this point. Definitely, I encourage you to keep playing for the rest of the season. But we just want to keep it real on tonight and let you guys know what games you need to win in these last 4. And who has unfortunately lost their chances of even entering into the playoffs, because it's the top 6 teams in each conference, right, Dennis?
Right. The top 6 teams in each conference will advance to the playoffs. And then once those 12 teams are determined, then the 12 teams will be ranked overall by your record. There will not be a Eastern Conference playoffs this year, and Western Conference playoffs. It'll just be one big playoff.
So it's just going to be one bracket. So Dennis, what are some of, I saw that you posted on the NBS page, what are some of the tiebreaker rules, just so everyone is aware, because it looks like, especially out in the West, it's going to be some like really key, either it may be points or what have you. So just go ahead and explain before we get started, what are some of the tiebreaker rules if teams are very close in getting that spot into the playoffs?
All right, great. Very quickly, if teams have identical records, we move to the tiebreaker rule, and the first thing that we're going to look at, if teams have identical records, is the conference records. How well did you play in your conference?
Right.
And if those are identical, for example, if the Legends, if we win our last 4 games and we finish 7-5, just hypothetically speaking, and the Ballers finished 7-5. We finished with identical records. The first thing that we're going to look at is the conference wins. How many conference wins does the Legends have? How many conference wins does the Ballers have? If both of us have equal conference wins, then we will move to the second level of determination, and that is the head-to-head matchup, in which most cases that will determine the outcome. Of who gets in and who's not, or who gets a better seed and who gets a lower seed. Most cases that will determine the head-to-head matchup. But, if there is some type of scenario, then we will move to the third case, which is non-conference play. How did teams fare in the East versus West? And if for some reason, that will be the determining factor for 95% of the cases, because we had every team play 3 non-conference matchups, and you could either win 3-0, 0-3, 2-1, or 1-2. But if for some reason that your non-conference is equal, your head-to-head is equal, and your conference play is equal, then we will move to the fourth determining factor, and that is open up the scores books and put up the total points. And the team that has the most total points overall will either advance or get the better seed.
Okay, that sounds good, Dennis. So talking about the Eastern Conference, the teams that so far have a pretty much guaranteed spot in the playoff contention, they've secured their spot already. I have Fast Forward, Them Boys, and Dynasty.
Well, overall, because Fast Forward is a Western Conference.
Western team.
Yeah. Fast Forward has clinched their playoff spot. So congratulations to Fast Forward. We see you, Flake. Fast Four has clinched their spot. So even even if they lose their last 4 games, they still have a record of 8-4. Which will pretty much will guarantee them a spot in the playoffs. They went 3-0 in non-conference play. They're currently 5-0 in their conference. And they have 4 conference games remaining. So even if they lose these last 4 conference games, they still have a 3-0 non-conference record and a 5 conference wins versus 4 conference losses, hypothetically speaking. So that would declare them as a spot already gone. So congratulations to Coach Love and the Fast Forward team for clinching your playoff spot. Next, we want to move to them boys.
Also in the West. I'm sorry about that. They are also in the West, and they have secured their spot as well. Also,
yes. Thank you, Roz, for that. Them boys is a Western Conference team. They have clinched their spot. So congratulations to DeAndre Hall, Key Jones, Ike Turner, and the rest of them boys camp. They have secured their playoff spot. The worst case scenario for those guys is 7-5. Worst case scenario, best case scenario is 10-1, 11-1. Excuse me. Best case scenario is 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario is a 7-5 record. So, if we deal in worst case scenario, they still will clinch a playoff spot based on the simple fact that they went 2-1 in non-conference play with the loss to the Pirates in week 3, and they currently sit at 5-0 in their conference. So if they lose the last 4 conference games, they still will have 5 conference wins versus 4 conference losses, which will guarantee them a spot in the playoffs. So congratulations to them boys. You guys have punched your ticket to the 2015-2016 NBS Winter League playoffs.
So Western Conference, there is only 4 more slots left to get into the playoffs. So let's just move right into the West since we're already on the West right now. The Mob is currently ranked 3rd with a 4-4 record, tied with the Noles with a 4-4 record. But then you also have Legends with a 3-5, Ballers with a 3-5. Right now, I would say Mob, don't get comfortable because your spot could easily be taken this coming up Sunday. So Dennis, you want to talk a little bit about who does the Mob battle this week?
The Mob plays the Ballers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you allow me, Roz, just very briefly,
mm-hmm.
The Mob knows Legends and Ballers all play each other in these last 4 weeks. So the seeds 3, 4, 5, and 6 is really, in all actuality, up for grabs in the Western Conference. The Legends could hypothetically win out, which will give them the Legends could win out, which will give them wins, which will guarantee them the 3rd slot with wins over the Ballers, wins over the Mob, wins over the Cobras, Vets, and Outcasts, which will give them 5 conference wins. The Nose could win out, which will give them an 8-4 record, which will clearly wrap up the 3rd seed. The Mob could win out, could wrap up the 3rd seed. The Ballers could win out. Those 4 teams are in a tight battle.
They are.
It's 1 game difference between the 6th seed in the West and the 3rd seed in the West is only separated by 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the best advice that I can give to those 4 teams is to not get comfortable and
try to win as many games moving forward as possible.
And win games, basically, because
well, you also have the Thunderbirds now. It's a possibility that the Thunderbirds could creep up if they win every game moving forward. And does Legends battle Thunderbirds?
Yes, the Legends, we do take the Thunderbirds on this Sunday at 7:00.
The Legends, you need to win that game.
Yeah, that is a big game for us, Roz. That is a
Because if
big
you
game
lose
for
that
us.
game, the Thunderbirds can move up and possibly be the
Yeah,
6th seed.
yeah, that will have if the Legends lose on Sunday, that will have the Legends on the bubble. And we will be on the outside looking in.
Who do the Ballers battle this week?
The Ballers play the Mob.
Which is a very good matchup and really almost a determining factor as well. The Mob needs to win that game. If the Ballers win that game, though, they pretty much takes the Mob spot. And it depends on what the Noles do as well. But the Ballers can come in and take the 3rd slot from the Mob if they defeat the Mob. You don't want, if Thunderbirds win, they could make it hard for the Legends because now you guys will have a tie. Well, no, you won't have a tie record, but you will be 4-5. No, you will be 3-6, and they'll be 3-6. So yeah, you'll have a tie record.
Yes, which will give them the tiebreaker.
If the Thunderbirds, yep, and we'll give them the tiebreaker, which will almost, depending on between the Mob and the Legends, and if Noles win, it could possibly push you out, Dennis.
That's true.
It could possibly push you out. So yeah, you want to win that game.
Yeah, I mean this is definitely a must-win game for the Legends on Sunday. And just briefly on the Thunderbirds, Cap. Mm-hmm. The Thunderbirds are 1 game out. That's that team that's on the bubble. And we could go ahead and go on a limb and say that the Cobras are on the bubble. Because they're a 2-win team as well. Right. They have identical records with the Thunderbirds. But
it all depends on who already beat the Cobras, though.
Right.
As far as the Mob, Noles, Legends, and Ballers. Well, which one of those teams have already won?
We haven't played the Cobras yet. We play on week 11.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you want to win that game too, Dennis. And did the Mob already play Cobras?
Yes, they did, and the Mob won that game.
Okay, so they are, and the Noles already played Cobras.
No, they're coming up.
So Cobras, you're not completely out of it yet. If you win all of your games moving forward, but you're not completely out. Speaking of the teams that are kind of that are mathematically eliminated and are out of playoff contention, we already know Outcast is out. We thank Outcast and we, encourage you to continue for the rest of the season, but at an 0-8 record currently.
Best they can finish is 4-8.
Yep, not going to be a playoff contender. Vets, according to our calculations, Vets, you guys pretty much look mathematically eliminated as well with a 1-7 record. What do you think about that, Dennis?
Well, I would say that the Vets is mathematically eliminated. Based on the strength of that. The Legends have wins over the Vets. The Noles have wins over the Vets. The Ballers have wins over the Vets. So it looks like definitely a uphill battle for the veteran team. Mm-hmm. And the best that they can finish is 5-7. And it's going to take at least 6 wins to advance to the playoffs in the Western Conference.
And it's going to take for Legends to lose, Ballers to lose, and Thunderbirds to lose, and possibly Cobras to lose for them to even move up. Like, Legends will have to lose at least 2 out of the next 4 games. Ballers would definitely have to lose tomorrow to the Mob. So it's a lot. It's a lot of ifs for Vets. It's probably not going to turn out that way.
It's a lot of different scenarios that got to turn in the Vets' favor.
The Vets' favor, yeah.
But the most important thing is, Roz, is that the Vets have to win games.
Right.
If the teams that they need help from loses and the Vets lose,
they still stay in the same spot.
Exactly. So. The Vets definitely has to win games. They have to do what they have to do.
Right. Okay. So yeah, tomorrow is some key games. Mob and Ballers, very very key game. And that's also the Western Conference game of the week.
Ballers versus Mob, yes it is.
Okay. And Legends versus Thunderbirds, another key game. And who do the Noles play tomorrow?
The Noles,
or Sunday?
They play them boys on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Noles, it would help you to win that game. It will really help you win that game, but
just keeping it real tonight.
Just keeping it real. We're gonna move forward. Now let's go over to the Eastern Conference. We have Dynasty pretty much has secured a playoff a playoff spot in the East. Is that correct, Dennis?
Yes. Dynasty has. We see you, Flake. You taking the nose on Sunday by 3. But moving right along. Congratulations to Brother L and Mr. Charles O'Neal Bay, aka Warding, aka the Inch.
Congrats, Dynasty.
Aka MBS player rep, aka Dynasty.
Right, aka.
The aka team. But in all seriousness, no, congratulations to Brother L, owner of Dynasty. You guys have clinched a playoff spot, in the Eastern Conference. Very much a powerful season that you guys have been having. So far, you guys have won 7 games in a row. That definitely speaks volumes to,
Exactly.
The way that you guys run your camp. You guys were a little mad after you lost the title game, and you guys are really on a mission. You look poised. You playing as one unit. So, but getting down to the numbers of it, the best case scenario for Dynasty is 11-1 record going into the playoffs. The worst case scenario for Dynasty is a 7-5 record. So with the non-conference record of 2-1, and a conference record of 5-0, 5 conference wins versus, hypothetically speaking, 4 conference losses. Worst case scenario, 5 conference wins will be enough for Dynasty to secure a playoff spot. So that's 1 spot gone in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
5 left for grabs.
Right. And so now let's talk a little bit about Bears and Rock Boys. They both currently have a 6-2 record, DT. What happens if the Bears beat the Rock Boys this Sunday? Will that mean that they will secure a spot in the playoffs, or vice versa if the Rock Boys win?
Well, not quite.
Okay.
It will put them in a very good position to clinch, but they will not have clinched yet. They will need some help from another team by the name of Gotham City.
Right.
Or they can help their own situation by winning the next 2. If the Bears or the Rock Boys can win the next 2, and then either one of those teams can clinch. But
now, Rock Boys play who tomorrow?
The Rock Boys will
or Sunday,
play the Bears, the battle of the 6-2.
So Rock Boys play the Bears.
Right.
This is a very key game. But Rock Boys also need to beat Gotham City, which they do play them in the next week. So Rock Boys, you need to beat the Bears tomorrow. We can say tomorrow because it's 1:05 a.m. It's tomorrow. And Rock Boys, you need to beat Gotham City the next week because Gotham City right now is number 4 in the East. They have a 5-3 record. But if they beat Rock Boys, and win their game Sunday, who are they battling? Who is Gotham City battling?
Gotham City plays No Limit.
Oh, okay. Well, wow. So
it's a big game.
That's a big game as well because Gotham City is 5-3, No Limit is 5-3. So you guys are really fighting for the slots over here in the East as well. Rock Boys, you need to win tomorrow. But Bears, that won't put you out if you lose, or other way around. Rock Boys, it won't put you out if you lose. But definitely, if you lose, Rock Boys, you definitely need to beat Gotham City, especially if Gotham City wins tomorrow. You need to beat Gotham City the next following week.
We see you, Coach Bramlett. Gotham City plays the Monstars on Sunday.
They play Monstars?
Yeah, Gotham City plays Monstars on Sunday.
Okay. Speaking of Monstars, we're moving a little bit further down here. Would you say that Warriors and Monstars are mathematically eliminated?
My Warriors, I would count the Warriors out of the playoffs this year, Roz, just based on the simple fact that their best case scenario for the for the Warriors, is a 6-6 record.
Right.
And since the Eastern Conference has been very, very competitive, and the average...
And the odds of them winning every single game moving forward is very slim.
Yeah, and the average wins right now in the Eastern Conference, most teams in the Eastern Conference has about 5 or 6 wins right now.
Right.
With Dynasty having 7, Rock Boys having 6, Bears having 6, Gotham City having 5,
Right.
No Limit having 5. So that's half the conference right there.
Right.
So I would go ahead and cash their chips in that they're mathematically eliminated this year for the playoffs.
Monstars, they have a 3-5 record.
Roz, not quite. Monstars, it's slim.
It is very slim.
It's slim. Monstars.
Well, only because, and I'm saying that Monstars because you currently have 3 teams with a 4-4 record. You have Greatness, Phenom, and NWO that are currently, if we're just looking currently, all fighting for the 6th spot. That 6th spot. So the odds of Monstars really coming up and these teams losing their games, to me, Monstars are mathematically eliminated. It's not going to happen because even if they move up a slide or two, the odds of, and then you have to look at too, has Monstars battled Greatness, Phenom, or NWO?
They lost to Phenom in double overtime.
So Phenom already got the tiebreaker. And then what about Greatness?
They played Greatness week 12 last game.
They played Greatness last game. And what about NWO?
I'm not for I believe they have that game coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, well, yeah, Monstars, the odds of you coming out with a playoff spot this season.
But they would
pretty much have to win every game moving forward.
Yeah, most definitely. But
they would have to win every game moving forward, and you would have to hope that I just don't see it happening. But okay, see that happening. We own the breaker over NWO and Phenom.
That's absolutely true.
That is true.
Coach Bramley, you do own the tiebreaker with NWO and Phenom. Hey, but Roz, just as a little sidebar, it's kind of interesting that the Monstars would even be in this situation.
It is.
Because this is a team that has played in you can say 3 conference finals in a row.
Yep, exactly.
Because the last 2 they were in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
And the year before when they were in the Western Conference Finals, when they lost to the Legends in the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
This is the same exact team. That has kept the core together with
same exact team, the same coach.
Yeah, Keith Hall, Thomas Dowling, Brandon Carlson. This is that same core. And for a team to be in 3 conference finals in a row, and now you find yourself on a bubble with the potential of not competing in the playoffs.
Exactly.
It's kind of discouraging for a team of that nature that's had a brand of winning to even be in that situation in the beginning. But
Sunday.
But you, as my grandmother used to say, you made your bed, now you got to lie in.
Exactly. And then Monstars did have some issues, not necessarily roster issues, but maybe some attendance issues with some of their key players coming to key games. So I'm sure that played a part in some of their losses. But again, Monstars, I'm really surprised. I would never think to see Monstars this far down, and possibly not in playoff contention this season.
I mean, because this is the same team that wrapped up the number 1 overall seed last year.
Yeah.
I mean, in the entire league, they wrapped up the number 1 overall seed. Not to mention
Coach of the Year.
Exactly, and the Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
And Thomas Dowling, who is a former MVP. And you have a current MVP candidate, Brandon Carlson on your team. MVP candidate, Harp Rose on your team last year. Defensive Player of the Year candidate from last year, Keith Hall. So you have pieces.
Exactly. So, you want to, Monstars, if you're not going to be in the playoff contention this season, I think you guys should definitely come back next season. But over the break, definitely, look at what went wrong this season. How can you come back and make things better? What were your weaknesses? And what was that big difference between the previous 3 seasons to this season? And, and just come back better. I think you guys have a solid team. I don't think you need to make, a lot of roster changes, but, and then sometimes, DT, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. If they've always had this winning record all these seasons, it's just maybe been a time just to, but you guys know what's going on in the locker room. NWO, Phenom, and Greatness. Let's talk about the 4-4 teams right now. What do you foresee with them? Who does Greatness battle on Sunday?
Greatness plays Dynasty, which has been voted as the Eastern Conference Game of the Week.
Okay.
So I would definitely
pressure on us. Last 4 games. It's the toughest.
I would agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would agree, Coach Face. I would put Greatness in a must win on Sunday, Roz, and this is why I say Greatness is in a must win.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Dynasty already clinched their playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
Dynasty can lose. They're not proving anything Sunday by winning or losing.
Right.
Because they
Dynasty's really only in a place to help to push other people out.
They're already in.
Right.
So they're waiting on playoffs to start.
Exactly.
So they're not proving anything by winning or losing. The pressure is on Greatness to continue to win.
Exactly.
Because this is a team that was once upon a time This is a team that was once upon a time 1-4.
Right.
Now they won 3 games in a row, battled back to get to 500. And they have made their situation look good by getting wins over Phenom, getting wins over NWO,
exactly.
Which are other 4-4 teams, which they will own a tiebreaker if, hypothetically speaking, they end up with the same records.
Exactly.
So
congrats on that, Greatness. You do
but
have the tiebreaker with Phenom and NWO.
I definitely don't want to put a lot of pressure on the Greatness camp, but the reality of the matter is, the light is on. You guys got to win games.
You got to win, yep.
You guys got to win.
I
mean, I'll put you guys in a must-win on Sunday.
Definitely. And who does Phenom battle Sunday?
Phenom, is it No Limit? I believe they play No Limit on Sunday. I believe that, yeah. I believe they do. Yeah, I believe they do play No Limit on Sunday, and which is another tight matchup.
Exactly, because now No Limit is 5-3.
Yeah, No Limit is 5-3, and Phenom is 4-4. Mm-hmm. So hypothetically, Roz, we could be looking at another shift in the playoffs.
Exactly. If Phenom wins, and beats No Limit, you have to assume. If Greatness, okay, let's give this scenario. If Phenom wins and they beat No Limit and Greatness loses, Phenom moves above Greatness. And Phenom probably takes, if we're just hypothetically speaking, they'll take like the 3rd or 4th slot. Depending on what Gotham City does.
Well, no.
No, they would take the 4th or the 5th slot.
Run that by me one more time.
Okay, so you have Phenom going against No Limit. So this is where No Limit is right now. They're currently at number 5.
Right.
If Phenom beats No Limit,
okay, 5-4,
and Greatness loses, not saying you're going to lose Greatness, we're just using the scenario. Where would Phenom now sit? Wouldn't Phenom move up?
If Greatness loses, that will have
though Greatness beat Phenom, but
that
if
will
Phenom
have a better
Greatness
record.
has to win. Greatness, you have to win.
So that will
have to win because you have to have a better record than Phenom and NWO, and they have to win.
That will put Greatness. If Greatness loses Sunday and Phenom wins on Sunday, that will put Greatness on the bubble, Roz. So that will have Greatness on the outside looking in, at a 4-5 record, and if Phenom wins, that will actually bump Phenom in with a 5-4 record. And with No Limit owning the tiebreaker over Greatness, that will
push Greatness out.
Yeah, that will put No Limit at 5 and Phenom at 6, and Greatness will be at 7, which will have Greatness out. So Greatness, like I forestated, Roz, I would definitely put Greatness in a must-win on Sunday.
Oh, okay. So Phenom and No Limit. If Phenom wins though, DT, Phenom and No Limit will have the same record. 5-3, and Phenom will own the tiebreaker because they beat No Limit. So Phenom will actually be above No Limit.
So let's spin it this way.
Phenom, you need to win.
So let's spin it this way, Roz. If Greatness wins on Sunday.
Okay, if Greatness wins.
If Greatness wins on Sunday, that will put Greatness to 5-4.
Exactly.
If Phenom wins on Sunday, That will put Phenom to 5-4 and No Limit to 5-4. Now we're looking at 3, 5, and 4 teams.
Correct.
Now we're looking at 3, 5, and 4 teams.
Did No Limit and Greatness ever battle?
Yeah, No Limit owns the tiebreaker. So this is what I was getting ready to say.
Okay.
That will actually bump No Limit from 5 to 7. Greatness will move up to 5, and Phenom will come in at 6.
How so?
Because if you look at the tiebreaker now,
look at the tiebreaker. You said No Limit owns the tiebreaker, though.
No Limit owns the tiebreaker with Greatness.
Right.
But if Phenom can pull off the win, Phenom will own that tiebreaker with no limit.
Yes. So now Phenom would move up to 5,
and
No Limit.
Greatness
will be 6.
Greatness will move up to 5, and Phenom will move up to 6. No Limit will shift from 5 to 7. They will be on. They will find themselves on the outside looking in.
Okay, DT, explain this to me one more time. Hold on. If Phenom wins, if all 3 of them win, well, no, they can't because they battle.
Right,
Phenom will have to beat No Limit. They all have the same record now, right?
Right. Phenom will own that.
Phenom beat No Limit. They own the tiebreaker now. Right. How did No Limit get above Phenom?
No, they won't. They
won't be. So
they'll be below them.
They will be below them. So
Phenom will push Greatness up to 5. We'll push No Limit to 6. We'll push Phenom to 6 because remember we just said hypothetically if Phenom win on Sunday.
Hypothetically, if Phenom win on Sunday, they own the tiebreaker
with No Limit. So that will push Greatness to 5. Phenom to 6, and No Limit will shift from 5 to 7.
Okay, this is how I look at it, DT. No Limit owns a tiebreaker between Greatness and them, right?
Right.
But if Phenom beats No Limit, they own the tiebreaker above both of them.
How? Because Greatness beat Phenom. Phenom didn't beat Greatness.
Well, I'm looking at the fact that if Phenom beats No Limit.
You're right. Yeah, we saying the same thing. If Phenom beat No Limit.
Right.
If Phenom beat No Limit. Let's just remove Greatness out of the scenario.
Exactly.
If Phenom beat No Limit, Roz,
right.
Phenom owns the tiebreaker.
I agree.
So, which at 2 teams at 5 and 4,
puts Phenom above No Limit.
Put Phenom above No Limit.
Exactly.
So listen. So follow me.
I'm following.
Greatness owns the tiebreaker with Phenom.
Oh, okay. So if Greatness wins, they go above Phenom.
Yeah, so if Greatness wins, they go above Phenom, which will remove No Limit out of the scenario because they lost on
your
Sunday.
slide is at risk this Sunday.
Right, because they lost because they lost the game on Sunday, hypothetically speaking.
I completely understand it now,
which will move Greatness to 5, Phenom to 6, and No Limit from 5 to 7.
Greatness, you're in a must win. You definitely have to beat Dynasty this week. And Phenom, it would be in your best interest to beat No Limit.
It would definitely be in your best interest to win.
To beat No Limit. And No Limit, if they beat you, then they move you out of the
You're on the bubble.
Yeah.
You're on the bubble. You move from 5 to 7. So to Suave and T Curry, hey, you guys been doing a lot. You guys been doing a lot of talking. Now it's getting tight. It's time for you guys to really make it happen because if you guys lose on Sunday, hey, this is keeping it real with Roz Turner. If you lose, shout out to Indiana. If you guys lose on Sunday, No Limit, you guys are on the bubble, and Phenom will move into that 6th spot. Greatness will advance up to the 5th spot.
Exactly.
So, hey. We can only go by what the numbers and what the numbers state. So according to the numbers, y'all will be on the outside looking in.
And who does Gotham City battle Sunday?
Gotham City plays the Monstars on Sunday. Now let me spin this at you, Roz.
What if Gotham City loses?
Hey,
that's it right there. So if Gotham City loses, it's gonna work in the best interest for a lot of teams. Gotham City.
If Gotham City,
y'all need to win as well.
if Gotham City loses on Sunday and Monstars win, which would put Monstars at 4 and 5, and let's just say hypothetically NWO loses, which will still have Monstars on the bubble, because Phenom owns that tiebreaker, so that. Gotham City won't be eliminated from losing on Sunday, but you're not helping your own situation from losing on Sunday either.
And also, if Gotham City loses, some other teams will be a little bit more happier because their chances are definitely going to increase.
Exactly. So the Monstars is a team sort of like, hypothetically speaking, sort of like the Detroit Lions, hypothetically. They have a scenario to get into the playoffs, but they need help from 3 and 4 other teams.
And Jesus.
And Monstars is in that exact same situation. You guys can advance to the playoffs. You guys can get in. I mean, we can present the scenario where you guys can advance. But you guys have to win games. And you guys gonna need help from other teams.
Yeah. So okay, so those are our playoff scenarios. Everyone. So moving forward, all I can say is less talking, more balling. We just keeping it real. Now is the time where all the talking that you've done on the page or over the season, it's time to put that into action. As some of you are facing eliminations over the next 4 weeks. We want to congratulate the teams that have already secured their spots. And we just wish everyone the best moving forward.
12 teams. Three spots already gone. 9 spots remaining. Who going to be those last 9 teams to advance? Who is going to make that extra push to push their team into the playoffs? It's nine spots left, Roz.
Right.
Hey, 4 weeks of basketball left. Hey, I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I'm very excited. It's a very tight matchup here on the East and the West. So I'm very excited. But we thank everybody.
We know y'all hungry, Coach Faith. That's been y'all mindset, since the beginning, since the inception of greatness is hungry. So we know y'all hungry.
And you guys are doing great. You're on a 3-game winning streak. Just continue your winning streak, and you have a slide in. But we want to thank all of our viewers tonight for tuning in to Keeping It Real, with Roz Turner.
I'm Dennis Thompson.
And we wish you all a good night. And I'm Roz Turner, and I'm just keeping it real.